Jaxon Smith-Njigba recently said he believes he deserves to be the highest paid player at his position. 2025 NFL Offensive Player of the Year. Highest paid would put him north of Jamar Chase, who's making $40 million per year. Jaxon Smith-Njigba is entering the fourth year of his 5-year with the option rookie deal. He was a first-round pick in 2023. And this is it. The window's open. We've seen some teams kick the can through 4 years like the Bengals did with Chase. Some teams will pay the guy after 3 years. No, wait a minute. I got it wrong. The Vikings kicked the can through 4 years with Justin Jefferson.
Right.
I think the Bengals ultimately kicked the can through 4 years with Chase, even though Chase was trying to get his contract. It marred that 2024 season. Some teams will pay the guy after 3 years. A lot of teams try to get through that fourth season. And Jaxon Smith-Njigba is making it clear right now he's not going to let the Seahawks get through that fourth season.
Yeah, it certainly seems like they got some problems here to deal with. I mean, good problems to have. The Seattle Seahawks, we just talked about Kenneth Walker. Yeah, we're talking about Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Man, I mean, one of the best corners in football is Devin Witherspoon, who's also available to get a new contract. So, yeah, they got some things kind of coming down the pipe here where they got to figure it out. Jaxon Smith-Njigba, I mean, listen, he deserves to be right up there with everybody else. Do I think he is as talented as Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson? No, I don't, right? And do I think his career has quite been the same as those two was early on in their career? I mean, those two, let's not forget, Justin Jefferson came in year one, and we were like, whoa, is he the best receiver in football? Like, it was literally like that. Jamar Chase wasn't much different. I mean, they did special things right off the bat. Jaxon Smith-Njigba, it's been, hey, solid rookie year. Hey, we got a little better year 2. Whoa, year 3. Uh-oh, watch out. So he definitely deserves to be up in that range. But do I sit here and just go, oh, he's definitely the best receiver in football? No, I don't know if I feel that way. But, yeah, I would think Seattle's going to have to be right around that 40 range here with JSN.
Best receiver and highest paid are two different things,
yeah,
though.
I know.
And this
You're
is
right.
a point I was going to make when we were talking about running backs. Like, well, not that this is right, because we have railed against it. In the quarterback position, the next guy who's due for a deal, he's the highest paid ever.
Yeah.
And I think the quarterback position's getting away from that, but that's the mindset that I think JSN is bringing to this. And look, we recognized fairly early in the 2025 season that Puka Nacua and JSN had become the top 2 receivers in the NFL above Chase and Jefferson, at least based on performance. And Jaxon Smith-Njigba ended up with 1,793 receiving yards, was on pace at one point to break, if not shatter, the single-season receiving yardage record, had 119 catches on 163 targets. He was a huge percentage of their offense. It was some obscene, skewed percentage of times the ball went in the passing game to JSN. So
second highest any receiver that ever went to the Super Bowl. He got the biggest percentage there, yeah.
So he's going to want 40+, and the Cowboys are going to tag George Pickens, and he's going to be at 28. And Georgia are going to be happy about that.
That's what's crazy. I was just going to bring that up because, right, I mean, again, Jaxon Smith-Njigba was awesome. He's awesome. Certainly don't take this the wrong way. I'm not trying to say that. But, like, I think if you watch film of George Pickens and Jaxon Smith-Njigba, you'd go, whoa. Defenses are more worried about George Pickens. They're more. I mean, George Pickens is a greater talent than Jaxon Smith-Njigba. He just, has got a little bit of a reputation. He was in Pittsburgh where it was a bad spot, and they couldn't get him the ball. But you saw what he can bring to the table there. So, yeah, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, do I think he's as good as Justin Smith or Justin Jefferson or George Pickens? No, I will say I don't. But he's good enough to go where, like you're talking about, the market's good to go, oh, he's worthy of being the next guy up who's the new highest paid guy. Yeah, I'm cool with that. He's worthy of that. This isn't where I'm like, what? We're going to pay Tua more than Patrick Mahomes? Huh? What? This isn't that crazy. Like, if somebody in the NFL went, I think Jaxon Smith-Njigba is better than Jamar Chase, I wouldn't go, oh, that's crazy, right? That's understandable, right? You said that about Tua with Mahomes, I would have been like, you're crazy. Don't talk about quarterbacks again, all right? So that's where I can understand it, and I do think he's going to get right around that Jamar Chase number, if not above it, to your point, Mike.
Remember, it was Tyreek Hill 4 years ago that said that Tua was the most accurate quarterback in the NFL, more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. So,
yeah, right.
2 years ago, they gave him that contract. That was a disaster. That was almost Deshaun Watson-level disaster. The only thing that saves the Dolphins is they didn't have to give up draft picks for the privilege of giving Tua that horrible contract, and they're going to rip it up sooner than later. But the reality is the Seahawks are going to have to do something. And now that they're in the process of being sold, this becomes an interesting question. Does current ownership say, we're not going to tie the next owner's hands to this big contract, or do they try to get it done? Who's calling the shot here now that the team is officially for sale? So that's a complication that may keep JSN from getting paid until after this sale is finalized. Yeah. And then you got a new owner. You know what the new owner's going to want to do.
No, but this hopefully would be under the classification of like no-brainer, right? He's a guy, he's our first-round pick. He's exactly the human being we want him to be to fit our culture here in Seattle. The coaches love him, right? And I would think this is one where no matter who the owner is, you're just like, hey, GM John Schneider, Mike McDonald, you know this is a situation you can figure out yourself. You can handle it. And I don't think current ownership or the new owner is going to be mad if they're like, what? We paid one of the best receivers in football $40 million a year? I think this one will be okay.
$2.715 million is what he's due to make this year. JSN do not... I was in their locker room before the Super Bowl, and he had this awesome pair of cleats that was in this special box. And then in his locker, cleats were stacked like like he had every possible option you could imagine. Don't put a single pair of those on, Jackson.
You didn't put shaving cream in any of them, did you? You didn't do that, did you?
No.
Okay.
No. I didn't have any with me, or I would have. I think I would have had to keep Fred Warner from doing it because
he would have liked to do that.
I mean, talk about insult to injury. He has to report from the 49ers locker room for the Super Bowl where the Seahawks have infiltrated the locker room.
Oh, I felt for him and Shanahan. That I think, our rehearsal the day before, doing the game, itself and pregame in there, I think they both are sitting there struggling like, I definitely think Seattle's better, but man, I don't want Seattle winning in our stadium and being in our locker room as the Super Bowl champs or any of that. So, that was a tough pill for them to swallow for sure.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.